Now let's come to the structure declarations. Okay, there are so many things with, as you remember, like you were asking me why we need the structures when we have the internal tables, correct? So those things now we will try to understand. Okay, we'll also get to know about this table types. So in the ABAP structure, the basic ABAP statement for the structured data objects, like we will actually come to know how these structures are generally defined with the data. So the structure variables are also defined with the data as the elementary data objects. They can be of either a dictionary structure or a transparent table or a structured type, which will be declared locally. Let me create one more program for the structures. Just underscore demo. Any doubts so far?
No.
Not yet, right? Simple to understand. So now, say for example, I want to, I mean, I said, right, like either you can use a dictionary structure to declare your structure type, like how I showed you the other day, s underscore flight type, s flight underscore t, right? That was the structure. And if I wanted to declare, either you can declare it with the dictionary structure, okay? Or you can use a structure type that is declared locally in the program. You can also declare your structure by using the type statement. So how do we create a structure here, a local structure? So you can use either the naming convention would be st or ty. Okay. Say for example, I want to create a structure like this, which will have char id type s underscore. So these are the standard data element s underscore char id. Okay. If you see this, so this is a standard data element which can be directly used. Or you can use the table and the field name. See, like this, you can use S flight seats max. Right? Now you give end of ty underscore s flight info. Okay. Now this is a local structure type which I created. If I want to create a, always try to do a
You
little
have given the name begin as ty underscore flight s
flight
info, right?
and flight, right? And here it
Flights
will be like
info. No, flights info. End of ty underscore flights.
flights info, correct? So now if I want to use it, then I can use ls underscore flight info type ty underscore flight info. So this creates a structure. Okay. Now if I want to create an internal table, then how will I create it? lt underscore flight info type see standard table of or table of, either type table of or standard table of. Okay, flight info. Flight Perfect. So this is a type of internal table. Now let me show you how it looks like in the. Now if I suppose I want to assign some variables value to this structure, and then I want to populate this internal table. Okay. So how do I do that? ls underscore flight info. Let me copy this because writing itself it's taking long time. Okay, first of all, we'll make sure if any variable values are there or not. So first we will clear this structure. Whenever you try to clear a structure or a variable, you will use clear. Whenever you try to clear the values of an internal table, you can either use a refresh statement. Clear statement will only removes the value with the header line or the structure. Okay, and refresh will be helpful to clear the values of the internal table. So now if I suppose I want to give any value like here, char id is equal to say 1 2 3. What is the type of this? Is a character, that's fine. Character 3, or say for example we'll give ABC. Okay, similarly I will give here con id is equal to ddd, and Append date is equal to, I will directly assign psi datum here. Okay, then ls underscore. These are like assigning the values to the variables. Okay, seeds max equals to say 30. Okay, and seats occupied is equal to 10. Okay, now this is how I have assigned the values to this one. Okay, now if I want to assign this particular value to the internal table, here def, this one is dd1 by datum, this one is 40, this one is 20. Okay, if I want to assign this value to the internal table, then what I will use? Append ls underscore s flight info to, what is the value here? Okay, now again, before assigning the values to the structure, I will clear again this value so that new values will be assigned to it and there will be no overlapping. So I will use here this. Correct. Either you use write statement, but as of now, or I can show you in a debugger. So let me put a debugger here. Make a pretty printer. Always do a pretty printer before. Okay. So now I have put a debugger here. So let's execute it. Okay. So now if you see this, so this is the desktop 3 where you can see the variables, whatever it is there. So see, this one is having this kind of structure, correct? And like if you see this is a numeric one. So numeric 4, it will always be filled with 4 values, okay, 4 zeros. Similarly, this is a date and this is an integer. Except character, it all will have a predefined 00 values, okay. So now if I try to assign these values here, okay, at the runtime, this structure will contain like this value. Okay, can you see this? Okay, and okay, since con ID is a numeric value, that's why it didn't take this particular value, because this acts as a structure. Sorry, character. Okay, so this, since it is a character, it didn't take it. Now, suppose I want to assign some values here in the debugger itself. I can assign it like this. Okay. These are like few concepts in the debugger. So going forward, I'll show you. See how it got like assigned in the runtime as well. So now what happened when I do now, if you want to see the structure of this flight, can you see this? Right. So that means what? This internal table will be able to hold multiple values. Okay. So can you see this? This is a row. This is the difference between an internal table and a structure. Now, if I append it, what happens? Can you see this? Now again, if I try to clear, now see, at even after this, the values are still retaining, right? Now if I want to use another value, so what I have to do, I have to clear that value. So if I use a clear statement, what happens here? All the values became 0. Now again, when I assign it back, okay, so this con ID, oh, I came back, shit. Okay, just 1 minute. What I will do is, oh, I cannot write it. I should have shown you that value, but okay, let me go here. I'll just say that the values are assigned. Okay, like this, some message I will give you, okay, to just show you the text. And I will put a breakpoint here so that I can show you how it looks like, correct? You can either use like this breakpoint, or you can use a break sci username, or you can use a breakpoint like this. We'll come to those points. No worries. Okay, so we saw till this much. Now I can directly show you how many values are getting populated into this. So when I press here, okay, I pressed this F8. Okay, this directly showed me this value. So you should press F7 there. Okay. So when I press here, this one is F5, F6, F7. Okay. When you press it here, why it's not coming now? Just 1 minute. Some issue is happening. Let me put it here. Oh, okay. I have not activated it. That's what. Yeah. So first one value is assigned. Now I put it as single one, and then you see there are two values. Clear? Any doubts in this? What is the difference between a structure and an internal table? You can also use this type statement to define this local structure types, okay, which I showed you. And also you can use a structured data type object directly as well, which like with the data statement. All you have to do is like, to replace the leading keyword types with the data. So whatever we try to create here with the types, we can also use it as a data. Okay. So, this is how you will declare a type using the global structure SPLIT. Earlier I showed you how it. So now, if this is a local structure which I created it, okay. If I want to create as a global structure, okay, I don't have to use all these types and all this, but rather I will just do is like types s underscore flight type as flight. Okay, if I give this, and say I will use, so I'll have to use data underscore ls underscore flight type s underscore flight. Yeah, can you see this? Right, so this is a type which is of a global type. Now we declared a variable which is of type this structure. So whenever we try to assign to this variable, then ls underscore flight, any values you assign, and then you can display. Okay, so this is of type global type. Now suppose I want to declare a structure which will have, say for example, I have this, I will combine two structures into one if I try to use that. Suppose you are creating one structure and another structure also, custom structure, and you want to combine this both these structures. So how do you do that? So let me know wherever you have any doubts. Okay, ty underscore str1. This is one structure. ID type flight. I don't remember the data element, that's why I'm just trying to use the table itself. Okay, price type as flight price currency, but you need to practice it. If you practice it, you will be accustomed to all these things like the structure, internal table, how to combine the structure using include, like these things. Okay, planet type as flight. The more you practice, the more it will be easier for you. And ty underscore str1. Okay, this is one structure, and I created another structure. Suppose just one minute. This is a special type of structure where I am using SPLIT and SBook. Okay, and then I will try to combine these two structure into one. Okay. Suppose this is my second structure. You can do the printer at the end also, no issues. Now my requirement is I have this two structure which contains all the fields. Okay. Now I want to create one more structure, but if you see this care ID, con ID and FL date are same in these two structures, right? So two components cannot have the same name. Okay. So when we try to create another structure including all these fields, okay, So at that time, we'll have to add a suffix for each component, okay, originated in the local. So how we will do that? This is bit complicated for the first time for you. Okay, so now if I create one structure which will have all these fields, say, then what I will do is I will create it like types. Okay, I will use a word called as include type tystr1. Okay, this will take the fields of first, and then I will take the second one, which will be underscore book. So now you see we have one structure which will have this care ID, con ID, and FL date. But when we come to this care ID, con ID, FL date, which we want to use it from the structure 2, so at that time it is not allowing to take it as a book. So now this is how it will look like. Perfect. So what it will do is both the structures, it will take all the fields of the first one, and for the second one, since the con ID, care ID, and FL date are same, so it will give a prefix underscore book, and then that is how it will create one structure of this SFLATE book. So now if I want to show you the value, like, how the structure is created, so let me create a breakpoint and let's see. Let me activate it. And let's so if you see this in this one record, can you see this? So care ID, con ID, FL date, price, currency, planet type of the first structure, right? First structure, and the second structure is with the suffix underscore book. Okay, that is how you combine these two structures into one, and you created a complete SFLATE underscore book.
This suffix thing, we'll use it when we have the same
So if
names
two
for the structure.
components will have, yes, if two components will have same field names, right? In that case, you cannot use directly that structure. Rather, you have to use it as a suffix. Okay, you
Even
give it
at least one field is repeating. We have to suffix, right? We have to change the naming convention.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Okay. So I have few more other topics to complete. So this loop control. Okay. So mostly what we have done is these things, right? This dialog messages, if statements and all, these things only we need to cover.